Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you've ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels, living paycheck to paycheck, I want you to take a deep breath because you are in the exact right place. Today, we're walking through a 90-day, step-by-step roadmap that is specifically designed to transform your financial anxiety into confident, lifelong wealth building. So, let me ask you this right off the bat. Why do most people struggle with money? Take a second to really think about your own financial hurdles. Is it because the stock market is just too complicated? I mean, is it inflation? Or is it that the math is just way too hard to grasp? Well, here's the real answer, and it might surprise you. It's not because we're bad at math, it's simply because most of us don't have a plan. And honestly, figuring out how to come up with that plan can be an incredibly scary thing. There's just so much information and so many competing strategies out there, it's really hard to know what to actually pay attention to. But that's exactly why this explainer exists. We're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a structured, proven system. Okay, let's dive into this. Over the next 12 and a half weeks, or 90 days, we'll conquer 4 distinct phases. Phase 1 is audit and cut. Phase 2, the foundation. Phase 3, grow your wealth. And finally, Phase 4, long-term vision. Kicking things off with Phase 1, audit and cut, which covers our first 2 weeks. To play defense here, we need a major mindset shift. I want you to start treating your personal finances literally just like a highly successful McDonald's franchise. Think about it. A business tracks its revenue minus its expenses to find its net profit, right? Well, in the business of you, your income minus your spending equals your leftover cash. We want to run our lives as closely to a successful business as possible, which means intimately knowing exactly what comes in and exactly what goes out. So here's your homework for week 1. Step 1, pull up your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Just open all those tabs on your computer and get it all visually in front of you. Step 2, categorize every single expense into fixed costs like rent and utilities, discretionary wants like eating out or shopping, and then your debt payments. Step 3, calculate your average monthly spend in each of those categories. Ideally, you log this all into a spreadsheet. I know it sounds tedious, but this simple exercise is going to expose your hidden spending habits and reveal your true net profit. Once you clearly see where your money is going, week 2 is all about cutting the fat. $4,800. If you just focus on the lowest hanging fruit to reduce your expenses by, say, 10 to 30%, maybe by taking fewer Ubers, canceling those forgotten subscriptions, or calling around for a better car insurance rate, and you save just $400 a month, you are saving nearly $5,000 a year. That's real money that can compound for your future, or, fund a European vacation. Moving right along, we shift gears into Phase 2, the foundation, covering weeks 3 through 5. Now that we've stopped the bleeding, we kick off week 3 by opening a high-yield savings account, or HYSA. This is a specific account meant for your short-term cash, basically anything you're going to need in the next 1 to 5 years that earns a competitive market rate, which is currently sitting between 3.8 and 4%. To put that into perspective, putting $10,000 into one of these accounts at a 4% rate yields a free $400 a year. That is literally free money unlocked for just 10 minutes of work setting up an account online. So the crucial point here is what you do next with those accounts. You automate. Paying yourself first via automation is an absolute financial superpower. It removes all the hassle and the friction out of managing your money because, well, you aren't tempted to spend it. Aim to automatically transfer at least 10% of your take-home pay right off the top on Pay. Then for week 4, if you have consumer debt like credit cards, attack it. Set up automatic payments to pay an extra $50 to $100 a month to crush that principal faster. Also, call your issuer to negotiate a lower interest rate. Simply asking can save you thousands in interest alone. It's crazy how well that works. And that brings us to week 5, and a real magic milestone, $1,000. Your goal this week is to build your emergency fund up to this crucial 4-digit barrier in that high-yield account. This is a massive psychological win. Consider the terrifying fact that 59% of Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency expense. Hitting this milestone gives you an incredible sense of peace of mind, proving to yourself that you're building a truly stable foundation. All right, the energy is shifting now. Phase 3, grow your wealth, spanning weeks 6 through 9. We are officially done playing defense, but before we go on the offensive and start investing in week 6, let me ask you, what do you think are the top investments of the last 100 years? If you ask random people on the street, they might guess real estate, treasury bonds, gold, or maybe even crypto when trying to figure out where to safely park their hard-earned cash for decades. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the historical data might totally surprise you. Over the past century, stocks completely dominate with an annualized real return of around 5.2%. Real estate surprisingly comes in much lower at 3%, and gold is even lower than that. That means for week 6, concentrating your money into the stock market, specifically through low-cost S&P 500 index funds and ETFs, is the ultimate passive wealth builder. You basically buy a single fund, get exposure to hundreds of top US companies, set it and forget it.
Let's actually look at the math to see how this builds your wealth exponentially over time. Assuming an average historical market return of 8%, if you consistently automate just $100 a month, you end up with almost $150,000 in 30 years. But if you can stretch your budget to invest $1,000 a month, you are looking at nearly $1.5 million. The key here isn't timing the market. It's staying consistent and letting compound interest do the heavy lifting.
Now, to invest that kind of money, we usually need to earn more, right? So in week 7, we focus on income. You can only cut your expenses so much, but there is mathematically zero limit on what you can earn. Take action. Ask for a raise if it's been over a year. Start a side hustle like freelance work or DoorDash, or dedicate time to learning a high-income skill like coding or sales. Then, fast forward to week 9, we tackle credit cards. If you have the self-control to pay them off in full every single month, testing one for 3 to 6 months builds incredible payment history, which makes up 35% of your credit score, unlocking way better mortgage and loan rates down the road. Sandwiched right in between those offensive strategies is week 8, and I want to highlight a massive statistic for you. 42%. A psychology professor actually conducted a study and found that the mere act of writing down your specific savings goals, making a plan, and sharing it with a friend increases the likelihood you will achieve it by an astounding 42%. So this week, define your goal, write it down, tell your parents, tell the internet, and hold yourself accountable. Finally, we reach phase 4, long-term vision, covering weeks 10 through 12. Think of me as your supportive financial coach right now. Week 10 introduces a practice that's actually incredibly fun, tracking your net worth. Your net worth is simply the total of all your assets, so your house, investments, and bank balances, minus any debts and liabilities, like a car loan. For example, if you have a $100,000 house and $25,000 in the bank, but you owe $30,000 on your car, your net worth is $95,000. Tracking this number monthly or quarterly is just a vital, really rewarding way to get a long-term view of how your financial picture is positively changing over time as you age and earn more. After taking week 11 to review your spending and ensure no new leaks have formed, we hit week 12, and this brilliantly illustrates what this final week is all about: setting massive stretch goals. What do you want to achieve in 1 year? Maybe it's saving that first $10,000. In 5 years, maybe buying property. In 10 years, retiring early. You need to create an actionable roadmap mapping out exactly how much you need to save per month to hit those targets. And crucially, schedule a quarterly check-in on your calendar right now to stay disciplined and ensure these 90 days weren't for nothing. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. I want to leave you with this final, really provocative thought. In exactly 90 days, will you be in the exact same financial place as you are right now? The choice is entirely up to you. Remember, wealth is not built overnight. It is built through consistency, discipline, and having a long-term vision. Taking control of your budget is just the beginning. Imagine what we can do with advanced investment strategies next. Thanks for learning with me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.